Alright y'all, welcome back. Today you see from the title and thumbnail what we're doing at the property, and that is installing a type of watering hole for our animals out here. Now you can do it a couple different ways, and I've chose to kind of make it more of like a pond because I want it to be self-efficient out here. We could have went the trough way, but like I said, I want it to be as natural as we possibly can. So I even went a couple steps further how to make this pond the best it can possibly be. So let's jump back to about a week and a half ago, and I'm out here grabbing something for the pond. Alright guys, so if you can see behind me, this pond is absolutely loaded with duckweed, which is what we want to introduce to this pond. Now it's actually kind of hard to find ponds that have duckweed. Either they don't or they do, and when they do, they normally have it, and it's looking like this. It's pretty darn thick. The reproduce is really good, and obviously this pond's extremely healthy with it. So we got 2 containers. We're going to go through it nets, and we're going to gather as much as we possibly can, like I said, to introduce into our pond. Now in order to do that, I want to talk about a product we're going to be using today to go in the water and get this stuff, and that product is Tideweed's rubber neoprene boots, and that exact pair is 6mm hunting boots. I can't even go to explain how often my feet are just absolutely soaked between the morning dew. I mean, I have a nice pair of boots, guys, but I wear them every single day. They don't repel the water very well, you know, as they get older. They're about to get a humongous shipment back in, so there's all different colors, camo patterns. You got them pink, purple. I mean, you can literally get any color you want. I went with the brown just because that's what's in stock for my size, and I wanted to, you know, show you guys what we're going to be using. I mean, I literally throw them in the back of your truck. Completely waterproof, they're comfortable, they're easy to slide off. For today, I don't need to throw on a whole set of waders, which I also have from Tideweed, and they're amazing, but just to be able to walk in the water today, scoop some duckweed, that's the pair we're gonna be using. You guys know I'm always talking about this company, and I truly do love their products. That's why I keep representing them. Customer service is great, and they keep on coming out with products like this. Like I said, I'm wearing one of their one pairs when they have like 30 different kinds. I mean, just go on the website, check them out. I'll leave all their stuff in the description. If you find something on the website, before you check out, you can use my code on all caps, LBTV18 for 18% off. You get to save some money, so go check them out. All their stuff's in the description. That being said, let's head into the water and let's start collecting. We got our 2 tubs loaded up today. We have Nick, he's behind the camera over here. We have his excavator, and we're gonna be digging out the pond, and we're gonna be introducing that duckweed and some of those like little natural lily pads. And we even went a step further, guys. I went out and I got like water snails, I got a couple little newts. There's all different types of stuff in those buckets, and that's kind of our ecosystem. Just kind of let it do its thing. When we go to introduce this stuff, I'm gonna give you guys a little more on why we're putting it in there and like the beneficial things for. But with that being said, let's go ahead and unload the excavator. We're gonna throw the drone up in the air and show you guys the location that we chose, because it is literally the best spot on this property to not do this, and that's why we planned this out. So let's check it out. Alright guys, so this section right here is around 3.5 acres, and this was a straight cutover that we cleared out probably a month and a half ago. And I have plans to do some stuff in here, kind of like a cover crop. But when we were down here bush hogging, there was this one area down here at the bottom where you could tell it funnels perfectly to this like one low spot. And that low spot needs to be our watering hole. Mother Nature is literally gonna fill it up for us. On top of us doing that, you can see the stick that's right in front of us. I want Nick to clear a trail coming straight to this watering hole. We're gonna have a couple of these trails that kind of staggered all through here, and we're gonna actually plant that with clover. It's pretty much giving the animals a way to travel through here, and while we have the machine, you might as well. I think this is where we're gonna choose to do, and if it's too wet, we'll kind of like game plan and we'll find our spot. But all through here, it's definitely the lowest. Alright, so we're finishing up a little bit down there where we're gonna put this liner, but before we get to that step, I actually want to pull the liner out and kind of see what we're working with. So we have a 20 by 25. I'm not sure which way it's going to be, 25 or 20, but we're just going to lay it out to kind of see what we have so we can start kind of game planning where we're going to do it down there. Nick was even saying it too, and I agree with Nick. My farm is nothing but red clay, and guys, honestly, it might even hold without a liner, but the fact that it doesn't, and not having a roller, not compacting it the way we need to, you know, you're just making a mud pit, and I'd rather put something down that I know is going to hold water, especially that we're about to time a big storm that's going to go for like 5 days. So I don't want to miss that opportunity, so that's why we went with the liner. If this overfills and one day we see that it is holding down there, guys, we'll rip the liner out, we'll expand, whatever we do, we'll make it work. But let's pull it out and see what we got.
Let's roll around.
Kind of has like a tarp texture to it more than like a rubber liner, but I think it's because it's been folded up for so long and it's been in that box. So we're gonna leave it, lay it out, let it get in the sun a little bit, warm up. A 110 to 300 gallon little trough, I mean, is enough to, you know, keep water and keep deer happy. We're gonna be plenty bigger than that, and I think it's gonna work out. All right, so you guys can see in this time lapse right now, we had to go grab some hydraulic fluid, and when we came back, yes, there's a little bit of water just kind of like, it's not seeping through the clay. I think the clay's holding it, but there was some wet spots kind of around where we were digging this hole. Water in the clay is just gonna find its next little route to take, and because we're digging a hole, that's obviously, we're pushing the water out towards us, but I really don't think it's going to be a problem for the liner. I mean, as the liner fills up, it should just kind of push the water a different direction. Because of the spot we chose, there's nothing we can do. I tried to get as close as I was to this low spot, so I figured we were going to have just a little bit of seepage, but I don't think it's going to hurt us one bit. Now I'm over here at this liner. You guys can see it's become much more flimsy. I'm going to go ahead and try to fold this thing up real quick so I can carry it down. All right, so as far as the pond, this is what we got. We kind of dug it to where obviously like our dam is, you know, back here where it meets, and then it kind of goes up like a little shallow flat. We're going up a little bit higher on this side just so the water can rise up, and then if the water even makes it that far, there is like a little pocket right here too. So literally we're just kind of hoping everything behind us like this way is where the deer are going to be able to like gradually walk and grab some water and all the animals. So with that being said, let's just lay this liner down and see how she looks. Dude, it might just be like legit perfect. Couldn't have planned that any better. It's not making it to the shelf, but at the same time too, we're only about 2.5, 3 foot on the dam. So we killed that, brother. All right, so what we're doing right now, yes, like you never cut a pond liner because obviously there's 1,000 inches in here that when the water actually goes into this pond liner, it's gonna suck to the wall whatever we've dug. So therefore, you wouldn't want to cut the liner because you want this pond liner to be able to stretch in if it needs to, but I don't want to leave the edges exposed, so just putting a thin layer. I mean, some of it's a little bit thicker than others, but just to cover up the crease to where we're gonna try to grade this out to where it does funnel back into it like we had in the beginning. It's not no koi pond, guys. It's not no perfect thing. I want this thing to hold water for the animals. It starts to kind of flatten this ground. Naturally, this little ecosystem right here is gonna become what it's gonna become. It has been a day. We're working our tail off. It's like 100 degrees out here, but we're pushing through. The pond looks absolutely amazing. I can't believe how good it came out with how much water we had around us. I mean, we did the best we possibly could. But like I said, the last thing I want to add is our duckweed with a couple little floating lily pads. I got some water snails, some little newts in there, a couple different types of water bugs. I mean, there's everything in there is just doing its thing right now. And the reason why I wanted to introduce duckweed, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a little floating algae. That floating algae thrives in like very, very calm water. And it's a big help when it comes to like sun, because algae blooms off the sun. It helps clean the water, it keeps the algae down. These guys are gonna kind of jump start the pond. Hopefully there's enough water in there and it finds a deep spot in here so it doesn't dry up. Like I said, we have like a 5-day storm coming in, I think in a matter of like either tomorrow evening or the next day. So I mean, either way we're gonna get rain, so I highly doubt it's gonna dry up. I don't want to close the video off here because like I said, we are getting a lot of rain and I kind of want to see it gain, a little bit at a time. And we're going to throw one of our edges up on a tree to kind of see, what happens in the next couple of days. What comes to see, what checks it out. So we'll pick this back up in a couple days. All right, guys, it has been a couple days with the installation of our water hole. I'm not going to say we have bad news, but we have news that is going to force us to have to take quick action on what we're gonna do. Because it's clay down here and this was a bottom, we have a lot of groundwater coming through, and unfortunately it's filling up underneath the liner. And with that being said, you take the risk of cutting the liner and hoping that the clay is just gonna hold, which it's seeming like it is. It's kind of a big gamble to do that. I'd rather get water in here, weigh it down, and either it's gonna force the water to come over the liner then back into the pond, or it's gonna push the water to go to the easiest route it can back, either in the ground or just coming up to the surface some way, somehow. So what I'm gonna do today is not gonna be efficient at all. I do have a swamp that's got water. We got a sump pump, we got the electric generator. Really our first step of action is just to see what the pump is gonna do for us with how much hose we're gonna have. I have a tarp for the truck. We could try to fill that up and cut it off halfway. And that's just my point. I don't think we're gonna get enough rainwater to fill this thing up as fast as it's coming from the bottom. So therefore, I gotta try to give it some help and speed it up. And I really don't wanna establish the mineral site yet until I have enough water to where the deer aren't gonna get spooked having to walk all the way down to drink out of a puddle of water. So my goal today is just gonna work my ass off and just try to figure out how we can get water into this pond, even if it's not filling up all the way, just more than what it is now. You guys can see what's laying around. I got extension cords, water hoses, mineral stuff. We got the 4-wheeler, totes. I got tarps, another 50-foot of hose, and our pump right here. Until we know how bad today's gonna suck, let's just go ahead and load up the generator on the back of the 4-wheeler. We're gonna drive down to the path where the swamp is, hook it up, get some power to this thing, and see how far it is going to pump water for us, because unfortunately I cannot get my truck down that path. All right, hose is bound up the best it's gonna get. The path was cut with the skid steer that Austin and I did that one day, but guys, it's even the terrain in here, the stumps. I mean, I cannot get my truck down here. I mean, I could, but even if we got it down here and we started filling it up, the risk with all the weight with the water, I just don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, it is rough through here. And it's literally going straight uphill, which is also not gonna help the way the water's gonna have to flow. Go ahead and move this generator. Turn her on, should be getting water. We have water. Wouldn't it be something if we can just keep connecting hoses and run this joker all the way to the pond? I brought both hoses just in case this does work. We'll just start connecting. Just gonna go ahead and connect the third one while we're here. See if we get water, guys. Let's cross our fingers. That'd be a negative. Unscrew this, see if we're getting water here. Oh, maybe it was coming. It was just taking a while. Guys, we might be getting water coming up. I'll be damned. We are. It's very little, but it's something. All right, guys, we got 100 foot of hose right here. We can get this. I'll be the happiest person in the world. It's not gonna be a lot of flow, but like I said, I'm dedicating my whole day today to make this work. Power on, come on water. If we didn't have this massive hill, I think I'd have more pressure to near about running all the way to the pond, but for sure that's hurting me. Give me some water. Taking a while. I don't know if we're gonna make it all the way up here. Guys, unfortunately, I just scratched every living shit out of my truck. Like, that paint is screwed up. I can't make it down the damn path. That is my rate of freaking speed. To pick this thing up, drive it the 15 feet I couldn't make it, throw it in the back of the truck and go. This is gonna be a freaking shit show, guys. Even if we just do 500 gallons or something, it's better than nothing. Look at my truck. I scratched the T-Ham dog shit out of this whole entire thing and on the other side as well. I just shortened the hose to get more pressure. At least I can fill this up quicker, and I'm just gonna have to make more of a stretch with the four-wheeler. The day is not going as planned, let me just put it that way. I gotta pick that up, put it on the four-wheeler, drive up to my truck, dump it in the back of my truck. I don't wanna be missing any of the water that's pumping, so you might as well catch it in the 5-gallon bucket for the time that I'm heading up there. We're not even gonna get nearly as far as I wanted to today, guys, but as long as we can get just a little bit of water in the pond, that will make me happy. Good night. Is what I'm doing stupid? Yes, but at the same time, guys, I came out here to try to do this, and unfortunately we missed it by about 20 feet with pressure, and it just is what it is. Like I said, I'm out here, I'm gonna do what I can. That's all the water we've gotten in around 3.5 hours. It's been a process, but I think we're at the weight and the capacity to where I don't want to be losing it driving, you know, the 30 yards I gotta go to where now we're gonna dump it into the pond. So I think that's all I'm gonna do as of right now, and just see how far this gets us. Hopefully it just at least fills up the bottom. All right, guys, let's go ahead and power off and grab this generator, load it up in the back of the four-wheeler. The day did not go as planned, but I tell you what, this little pump did do me good, and it's a pretty strong pump. It's just the amount of footage I was trying to cover with it, obviously it just wasn't capable for it. I've owned a couple of these things, and by far this one's the nicest. Generator did good too. All right, guys, the moment we've been waiting for is what I did. Just a waste of time, or are we at least gonna fill the bottom? Last 3.5 hours I've been waiting for this, just to see the water going into the pond. Let's turn her on. All right, we're walking her down. I'd like to put it on the deepest side first, because I want that water to try to work its way up to this flat that we have up here in the front, and that's where I'm hoping the wildlife's gonna come through, walk right down there. Right there, and we got flow. All right, guys, I haven't seen it because I've been up there kind of pulling the tarp to make sure we get every last inch of water that we've collected today. And first looks at the pond. We done something. Still a long ways away, but guys, at least we have some depth to it, and you know, we're almost at the bottom. We got a big bubble right there we need to take care of. Guys, I'll take it. It's more than what we started out with today. So I had a plan to come out here to try to, you know, benefit what we have here. And guys, I'm not gonna, just because it didn't work out, I'm just gonna pack it up and leave. I enjoy the work. We got it done, and it is holding more water than what it was when we started, like I said. So I think we have enough to start our mineral site now. And we do have 2 storms coming in tomorrow, so guys, we should get more rain. I think it's filled up enough at the bottom to where if something did want to drink, they're gonna hit water with the first couple steps in, and it's holding enough weight to where hopefully that water's gonna push up that's underneath it. So I'm happy. Let me show you guys what we're gonna work with as far as our product. We do actually have a sponsor coming up who's gonna be hopefully supplying us for the next couple years with a program and a mineral that I can't wait to explain to you guys, but just until we get that stuff squared away, I want to get it established as soon as possible. So I've used Lucky Buck in the past. It's good, it's sweet, the deer like it. Now, if you guys don't remember, last year I experimented with tons of different minerals and salt blocks. This is why I wanted to, because every single place is different, guys. You see an attractant on TV and you want to go use it. Well, that could be good in Illinois or Kansas. Doesn't mean your deer are gonna like it. So I went with a couple different salt blocks, and what got my deer to hit on the most was trophy rocks. We got 3 12-pound rocks, and I came across this too. It's a 10 or 20-pound bag of trophy rock, but it's crushed up almost like little pieces of gravel, like salt pretty much. So it's gonna be good to, I think, mix this in with however we construct this. I'm still kind of figuring out in my head with how my camera's set up, but for sure we're gonna have stuff spaced out. Like I have deer tracks right behind me, guys, that I never got on the camera last night, so you could tell they're kind of starting to scope things out. So I want to be able to have different spots for these deer. You know, if we have 10 deer in here, if we have 2 deer in here, they're gonna have enough room to get spaced out. That's why we built this little compound so big. Let's start digging out a little spot for the lucky buck, and let's start placing our rocks around. I ain't gonna lie, I'm wore out, guys, but today was a good day. I'm glad that we accomplished everything that we did. I don't regret nothing that we did. The pond has more water in it. Mineral site's established. I even got a big old toad sitting in my lily pads right now just chilling. There's bugs swimming everywhere. I'm glad the ecosystem is doing its thing, and I was able to help out today. We got a salt rock right here, one to my right, one to my left. We have our lucky buck, and we have our kind of gritty salt over there. So it is all spaced out, and that mulch edge right there is going to capture everything, guys. So you know for sure we're going to be doing an update on what is come to our watering hole / mineral site. A lot of labor in this video today, guys. So do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one.